Welcome, welcome, and good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, July the 7th, 2020, and you have arrived at DivaSpeaks Relationships. I am your hostess, the Diva, Angelo Portorial. I hope you guys are doing exceptionally well as we get our morning and our day started with this new edition of the show, Coffee and Conversation. It's pretty freaking early. You know, I would like for you to think of this as a supplement to your morning routine, to get a little dose, a small dose of encouragement as you move throughout your day. Now, I know many of you have had your morning prayer, you have had your morning stretch, you're probably having your morning commute. So, again, this is somewhat of a supplement to get you started and to help motivate and encourage you as you go throughout your day. My coffee is delicious. I'm not sure how delicious your coffee is this morning, but I'm almost tempted not to speak. So guys, we're coming off of the 4th of July weekend. Many of us did not celebrate it. Juneteenth was our day of celebration. So for those of you that did celebrate the 4th of July, I hope that, you did enjoy yourself and your time with family and friends. And I hope you had a good time. But for many of us, today is National Blackout Day. This is a day where African Americans have chosen not to spend a dime unless it is with Black-owned businesses. So if you haven't gotten the memo, today is National Blackout Day, and we are encouraging you to keep your money in your pocket unless you are in support of Black-owned businesses. And if you want to know more about this particular national holiday for us African Americans, I encourage you to Google it. So with that being said, I always like to thank those of you, my loyal subscribers, for continuing this journey with me. I appreciate your support. Be sure to tell a friend or a coworker or family members or, your confidants about the Diva. Encourage them to subscribe to the podcast. You can do so at DivaSpeaks.podbean.com, or you can listen to DivaSpeaks Relationships anywhere that you listen to podcasts. DivaSpeaks Relationship is available on all major podcasting platforms. I am everywhere. And if you are not a podcast savvy person, You can find most of the episodes on YouTube, or you can simply just type in the search field on Google and just Google, and the information will be available at your fingertips. But if I had my preference, I would love for you to be a subscriber to the show. It is free. It costs you nothing to do so. Just to, you know, come along for the ride. I really appreciate your support. Also, I do encourage you to follow me on my social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is DivaSpeaks, _official. Again, my Instagram handle is DivaSpeaks, _official. Now, if you just want to get technical with it, it's Instagram.com, the / DivaSpeaks, _official. You can also find DivaSpeaks on Facebook. My Facebook handle is True Diva Speaks. Again, my Facebook handle is True Diva Speaks. If you have any comments, feedback, or you just want to shoot me a note, my email address is DivaSpeaksOfficial@gmail.com. Once again, my email address is DivaSpeaksOfficial@gmail.com. I welcome your comments. I welcome the interaction and the engagement. And a few of you have been taking me up on my invitation, and I really appreciate it. I enjoy pouring into you guys. It gives me great pleasure and joy to be able to feel like I'm making a difference. And sometimes that's what it's all about, being able to make a difference in people's lives. And when you thoroughly enjoy doing so, I think it gives it that extra sense of fulfillment that a lot of people seek as they travel throughout life. So, guys, I've started this thing where on Wednesdays and Sundays, I have committed to doing a show at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, the topics will be about relationships, but I'm going to follow past and present celebrity relationship scandals and drama and the issues that, seem to be going on. Last week, I talked about the current fiasco with Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, and Jada's boy toy, who has come forward with spilling his tea on his relationship with Jada. So we talked about that on Wednesday. On Sundays will be my regular show where I will tackle a relationship issue or subject. So stay tuned. That's why I encourage you to be a subscriber to the show. So just in case you forget or you get busy, you are notified if you are a subscriber when I go live. And you do have the unique opportunity to be able to call in and with your comments, or to be a part of the discussion in the chat room as the show is being hosted live. So please join me on that journey. So guys, today the show is going to be about temptation, and I'm not going to take up too much of your time because this is just a segment of encouragement, motivation to inspire you or to push you, rather to give you that extra push. Temptation is this morning's topic for Coffee and Conversation with Angela of DivaSpeaks Relationship. And I'm not talking about the group temptations. I am actually talking about the act of enticement, or being enticed to do something. And typically when we think about temptation, is usually not tempted to do something good. It's usually evil or something bad, or something that, has adverse actions if you move forward with acting on your temptation. So I want to get started. So let's talk about a few of the temptations that, you would want to avoid as you move throughout your day to day. And again, a little tongue in cheek, I'm not talking about the group temptations. I'm going to talk about real briefly this morning temptation as it relates to moving about your day, in your relationship, or just, just stuff to avoid, or to be on the lookout for, because sometimes we're all imperfect, and you can, before you know it, you're being tempted and you're acting on things. Had you given it more thought, you could have resisted it and you didn't have to suffer the consequences, right? Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, Echo. Um, Echo, this is really about encouragement. Can you tell me real briefly in the chat room, what did you want to add to the conversation? I'm waiting on you. Okay. So, oh, I don't like surprises, my love. Tell me what you want to discuss. So, guys, let's talk about one of the temptations that I want to make you be aware of as you move about your day. Number one, the temptation to be vengeful. Yeah, let's talk about that. There are many times in life where we are faced with circumstances where people have acted out against us, lied on us, spoke ill of us, created situations for us. And to be quite honest, they were just low down people. And it gets sometimes challenging to hold back and let the Creator deal with such people. Sometimes it's a human reaction to want to be vengeful or to get revenge on somebody who has wronged us or lied on us, or so the message today is avoid being vengeful to people who have done us wrong. As former First Lady Michelle Obama has said, when they go low, we go high. I'm challenging you to take the high road today, whether that is with someone that maybe a coworker or a church member, or even your partner who has willingly or intentionally done you wrong. Let's avoid the spirit of being vengeful. Let's avoid that today. Let's not be tempted to be vengeful. Let's make every effort to be as positive and to be as nonviolent as you can be. And I know sometimes that requires a lot of restraint, especially when you know you've done no wrong to a person. Especially when you know you've done no wrong to a person and they want to act an ass with you, or they keep your name in their mouth. And you know what? If you're like me, you stay to yourself, you mind your own business, you're in your own world, you're comfortable in your skin, you don't bother nobody, you don't go out of your way to be unpleasing to people. And it's kind of like you take on the mentality of, like, you remember that movie Candyman? Things are all good, everything is fine as long as you keep my name out your mouth. Remember Candyman? Candyman didn't bother anybody until you spoke his name. I know that was silly, but you get the point. But moving on, as you move about your day, let's avoid negative and hurtful speech to each other, especially to the people that you're in a relationship with, especially to your family members. You want to be careful about how you speak to your loved ones. Because even though you can apologize, you can't take back hurtful things that have been said. The damage has been done. The damage has been done. Once you allow those words to travel across your lips and you speak them into the atmosphere, the damage has been done. And you have the ability with your words to destroy a person's confidence, to break their spirit, to hurt their feelings. And when you love someone, hurting them on purpose or being intentional should be avoided, especially when you can control what comes out of your mouth. So today I encourage you to avoid negative and hurtful speech. And as you move throughout your day, especially for those of you who are going into the office or you're going into the workplace, I definitely want to encourage you also to avoid the temptation of participating in gossip. Hey, Cole, good morning. Yeah, that reference was kind of silly, but you got the point. um, let's avoid participating in gossip. As juicy as it may be, because, I believe in keeping it real, and let's just be honest with ourselves. We're not all prim and proper and perfect. And, some of these things that I'm talking about, it's easy to get or find yourself in a situation and you caught up, whether it's trying to get revenge on a person who has hurt you or who has attempted to cause you harm, whether physically or to your reputation, or by saying something nasty or, a clap back at a family member or coworker or a church member or neighbor. It's so easy to get caught up in these type of things. But let me go back to the gossip. One thing you got to be careful with when you get tempted or you're tempted to participate in gossip or negative speech about someone else. The same people that you are standing around talking about other people with, will, when you leave that circle, one day the tables will be turned and they'll talk about you. I was always taught a dog that will bring a bone will definitely take one back. That's right. Beware of the people that you stand around and talk about other people with. And let me take it a step further, okay? Be aware of the people that you stand around and talk about people with, or you're just sitting there in the conversation, because even if you're saying nothing, sometimes being silent is being complicit. Beware of the people who keep company with the people that they talk about. You got to think about that. If you know these people run in the same circle, and they're talking about one of the people of the same circle and dogging them and telling their business and being negative about that person, what makes you think that they won't do the same thing to you? Or they're not doing the same thing to you? It's just that at that moment in time that they're speaking ill of you, you're just not there to hear it. So the best thing to do is to avoid situations like that altogether. And just remember, a dog that will bring a bone would definitely take one back. And you keep your vessel and your spirit clean when you avoid negative conversations like that, because that is a good recipe for drama. It's a wonderful recipe for drama, if you ask me. If you want drama, participate in negative conversations about others or gossip. My next point is I want to encourage you to cast down those negative thoughts that you speak to yourself, the negative things that you tell yourself about you, the cruel thoughts that you allow to eat away at you, your confidence, your will to live. Stop believing those negative, hurtful things that you say to yourself. Don't be tempted to give in to those dark thoughts, those low moments. When you're rehearsing a bad situation or a memory that just can't or won't seem to fade away, you keep rehearsing it in your mind over and over again. It's toxic, it's negative, it tears you down, it dampens your spirit. You're being cruel to yourself. So today is the day that I ask you not to give in to that specific temptation. I want you to rise and calibrate higher. And as I mentioned on the previous morning show, if you know that you are one of these people that this tends to happen to, you need to, number one, be able to reprogram or redirect your thoughts and think of something positive. Think of a happy place or a happy time, something that makes you feel good. Or you need to have a couple of scriptures that you can just repeat to yourself over and over again until you are no longer lingering in those thoughts and in that moment. Don't stay there. Don't get parked at that address. Moving on. Another temptation that I want you to be aware of, that I want you to avoid today. Avoid the temptation to be mean or less than pleasing to people just because you're not having a good day. We're all guilty of it at some point. I mean, none of us are perfect. This is not about perfection. This is about recognizing where we fall short and things that, happens from time to time. So even though you may not be having a good day, a good week, a good month, or a good year, 2020 has been very challenging to most people. Avoid being nasty to people, being short with people. Avoid those negative vibes. It's no one's fault that whatever's going on with you is happening. You never know how your smile, your kind words, your warm tone could make a difference in someone else's life today. Today could be that day that the softness in your voice, the smile that traveled across your lips made a difference in someone else's day. And isn't that what it's all about sometimes? Isn't that what it's all about? Making a difference. Sometimes I think, as we move throughout life and we're going through different experiences, we're going through our own storms. Sometimes I think the very thing that blesses us is being a blessing to someone else in spite of what we're going through. In spite of what we're going through. So moving on. Today I want to make you aware that you can be tempted to be impatient today. Because sometimes we'll get busy. We have so many things to do. We have places to go. We have agendas. We have our day planned out, and we need to get things done. Some of us are more organized than others. I need to flip that because I'm definitely not that organized. And if you've seen the video I posted on my social media page of my podcasting studio / room, it is a mess. But just because you have so many things to do so that you can accomplish your goals or to get that sense of fulfillment at the end of the day does not give you the right to be impatient and short with people. Slow it down a little bit. Impatience gets you nowhere. If anything, it frustrates you. Don't walk around with the spirit of frustration because you're being impatient. They say patience is a virtue. Now I'm speaking to myself. I have little to no patience when it comes to any and everything. That has been my shortcoming. That has been my challenge. That has been something. Oh, Jesus, I have no patience whatsoever. Yeah, I have no patience. Yep. So I'm preaching to myself, but I'm going to move on. I just want to make you aware that your impatience could end up hurting you in the long run. You got to be willing to slow it down just a little bit. And remember, patience is a virtue. Remember that, Angela. Remember that. Okay, so getting a little bit more neighborhood. Let's avoid getting people towed today. Let's avoid the temptation of giving people a piece of our mind because we have simply had enough of the foolishness, enough of the lip service, enough of, the backstabbing, enough of this negative talk, enough of the nastiness, enough. When you've had enough, sometimes you're like, you know what, that's it. And you move forward with giving people a piece of your mind. Let's avoid that. Because when you give people a piece of your mind, sometimes you're giving away your peace. Ignorant people or people who just are not that bright, or people whose souls are infected with negativity, whose souls are infected with being toxic. All you're doing is feeding them with fuel to continue down their destructive path. Let's avoid giving people a piece of our mind. We're going to hold back from that because of the simple fact that no one deserves that part of you. No one. I feel that sometimes silence is best. When people see that, you're not moved by whatever or however, sometimes ignorance goes away. Sometimes it doesn't. But today it's about you. Today it's about not telling people off. Guys, I'm not going to lie. In my circle, my inner circle, especially all my friends and family. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I am the clap back queen. Do you hear me? You say something out the side of your mouth, you come out of pocket with me, I have the gift of gab. I can cut you down so fast, from 0 to 100 so fast, that your only and next reaction is you want to get violent. I'm just that good. But I have learned, and I'm still learning, you can't feed people like that. And sometimes it is best just to keep quiet. Sometimes you just got to let ignorance marinate in the ignorance of it all. So let's avoid the temptation of telling people off. And let me go a little bit further, especially on social media platforms where people tend to be keyboard thugging and people seem to get in heated debates. Oh God, they get in heated debates now. It seems more so when it comes to political conversations, and especially when it comes to Black Lives Matters. Everybody gets in their feelings, and I see, a lot of people have a lot to say, especially my people. When we see racism online and we see the hurtful and the nasty things that people are saying about us, and that we deserve to die, we deserve to be killed, it puts us in our feelings, and we have the tendency to want to check people. Let's avoid that today. When people's souls are infected with hate and evil and negativity, your clapback is not going to make a world of difference. You can save that energy for something more suitable. But I digress. Moving on. I promised you that this show wasn't going to be that long, and look at me. So let's get a little bit more serious. Let's avoid the temptation to lie, to not tell the truth. It's so easy to sometimes get caught up in something, and then you find yourself creating a story that is not actually factual. I challenge you today to speak the truth. Speak the truth, especially in our relationships. My mama used to say, if you tell one lie, you got to tell 5 or 6 more lies to cover that one. And before you know it, you're caught in a world of lies and deceit. One thing about the truth is you don't have to remember the truth. The truth is going to be the truth no matter when you tell it, how many times you tell it. The story is the same. It only takes one lie to destroy your credibility with people. One lie can destroy your credibility. You see this often in the court of law, when people are on trial or they're giving their testimony, whether if it's the prosecution or the defense. Once you're caught in a lie, the jurors, they look at you different. You may not have the ability to bounce back and prevail in that specific case. And the same thing applies in your relationship, matters of the heart, in your marriage, with your partner, your significant other. If you are caught in a lie or a series of lies, you destroy your credibility in your relationship. You start eating away and chipping away at trust. And it's hard to come back from that, depending on how severe the lie was, or depending on the frequency of your lies. So it is best to, just be truthful, stick with the facts, no matter how hurtful the truth may be at that specific time. It is just best to deliver the truth. Now, truth, as with anything else, should be served up with tact. Just because it's the truth doesn't give you the right to be nasty with it. Always use tact. Always speak with love. Always speak with kindness when you are delivering the truth. But today I encourage you to resist the temptation to lie. Don't destroy your own credibility. Moving on. Temptation. Today I encourage you not to be tempted to go outside of your relationship for any reason, whether that is for comfort, whether that would be to vent, or simply entertainment. Today, I encourage you, whatever is going on in your home, to resolve the issue with your partner and in your home. You have to work together, because if you both have the common goal of having a happy, healthy relationship, you can't bring others into it. Here's one that I like. I want you to avoid today the temptation, the enticement to give up. Don't be tempted to give up. You may not see a way out of whatever that is before you right now. You may not see a way. But you definitely won't ever find a way if you give up. I encourage you to push through, move forward, rely on your faith. Rely on your faith. Rely on your support team, your support system. Find the courage to want to move forward, to see the end result of whatever you are going through, whether it is your dream, whether it is something that you've been working on for a long time and you've not seen any type of progress or improvement. I encourage you not to be tempted to give up. Don't take a coward's way out. Push and pull through. You owe it to yourself to achieve the results that you initially aimed for. So I encourage you not to give up. Going hand in hand with that, let me also encourage you not to be tempted to lose your faith. And I know it's hard. It is hard sometimes when it seems like everything seems to be happening at once, when all hell seems to be breaking loose. And it feels like, not that it is, it feels like your prayers are not being answered. Again, you can't give up. You should not lose faith. You should know that this too shall pass. And just like many, many people before you over a period of time for many, many years have all went through something that they didn't think that they were going to get through. You are no exception to the rule. You are not an exemption from this. All of us go through things. All of us have things happen to us. And, it depends on how you look at it. Sometimes it's not necessarily happening to us, but happening for us. It is how you move forward with your response to the situation that makes a difference at times. Sometimes not reacting to whatever is happening or not happening at the time. Your support system is very important right now. If you are one of those ones who your faith is wavering, your support system is very important, because you may not have the strength, you may not have the desire, you may not have it in you to be able to pray for yourself. Things may be that bad for you right now, but just know we've all had our dark moments, our dark times, our dark thoughts. That's where your support system kicks in. And if you don't have one, I encourage you to find a good prayer line where you can remain anonymous. And every time you feel low, or you feel like you're about to just lose it and just drop it and leave it right there, call a prayer line. They'll be more than happy to pray with you. When your heart is heavy, very, very heavy, because you feel weighed down with whatever is happening in your life right now, pick up that phone. get someone on the other end of it who can intercede for you, who can pray for you and help you to not lose something that is so precious, which is your faith. Moving on. Procrastination. I want to encourage you not to be tempted to put something off and delay it for tomorrow, what you can absolutely get done today. Let's get that out of our spirits. If it can be done today, let's do it. Let's do it. Stop putting things off that you know you can get done today. Let's do it. Whether that is starting your dream, whether that is making improvements in certain areas of your life. Let's do it today. You said you was going to pray more. Start today. You said you was going to start that business. Stop waiting until next month. Stop waiting until. Take the steps to move forward and do it today. No more procrastination. No more. No more. Stop being tempted of being lazy. Stop putting things off that you know you can get done today. You know what? It says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered, right? So if you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it versus putting it off, do you not know that you could be walking in the direction of your destiny? Are you delaying your destiny? You guilty of that? I've been guilty of that too. I'm not perfect. I've definitely been guilty of that. But let's do it. If you've been tempted to say, you know what, I'll get that once everything gets straightened back out, or once, this happens, or once I get enough money saved, or once the kids, I got all of the kids out of the house, or, once, I get a few $1,000s more in my bank account, then I'll do. Let's see if we can stop that. Let's see if we can start making a difference in our own lives today, right now, by not putting off those things for tomorrow that we can do today. I'm going to run through this one because I know my shortcomings. Let's not be tempted to continue poor spending habits today because of what you're going through, because of the spirit of depression, because of the spirit of you're just overwhelmed with the ills of the world and what's happening. Just you're like, oh, no more retail therapy. No more poor spending habits. Let's not be tempted into that. And I know retail therapy it feels so good. Oh my God, it's like a glass of ice cold water on a hot summer's day in Dallas, Texas, mid-July. That's what retail therapy feels like. Yes. Or you know what? It also feels like? It feels like an ice cold glass of Coca-Cola. Mid-July. When you take that first cold sip and that Coca-Cola hits the back of your throat. Oh my God. Yes. That's what retail therapy kind of gives you that. So guys, I want to encourage you not to give into that temptation, because poor spending habits is also like a domino effect. It can wreak havoc on your savings. It can wreak havoc on your budget, especially when you're doing impulsive spending. So I want to encourage you not to give into that temptation today. Now, wrapping it up, my final point to you. Let's not be tempted into choosing conflict over being harmonious with people, whether that is in the workplace, whether that's with a neighbor who's just an asshole, or in your relationship. In your quest to be right, you just gotta be right, because you are right. You are standing in your truth. You are standing your ground. But for the sake of peace, you just gotta be heard. You gotta make your point. So you're gonna keep the issue going. You're keeping the conflict going versus finding another way to deal with it and being harmonious, keeping a peaceful spirit around you. Let's not choose or be tempted to choose keeping the conflict going over being harmonious. Let's find a truce. Let's find a common ground. Let's see if there is a compromise that can be made in the spirit of peace. If anything, for the peace of any relationship that you're in, and for the inner peace that comes with and for you. Let's avoid conflict. Let's avoid conflict. So that's it. That's it. And that's all, folks. Again, this is something new for Diva Speaks. The coffee and conversations. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I want you to think of this as a supplement to your daily morning routines. A supplement of sorts. After you have had your morning stretch, your morning prayer, and you're taking your morning commute to and from wherever you need to go. Coffee and conversations with Diva Speaks Relationship is your added supplement, your encouragement, your motivation to have the day, the best day that you can have, because you deserve not only the love that you desire, you deserve to have a good day and the day that you desire. Making you aware of the different pitfalls or temptation that may come before you could help you throughout your day. And if this has blessed you, then I've done my job. So remember, people, to be kind to one another. Let's speak kind words to one another. Let's be good to each other. Let's not put off today what we can do today by saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Let's not do that. Let's avoid conflict. Let's avoid telling lies, breaking trust. Let's avoid gossip and negative and hateful speech. Let's embrace everything that is good. And also, let's remember that today, July the 7th, is National Blackout Day. My people, you know what today is. Let's, in the words of my significant other, let's make it do what it do. National Blackout Day 2020. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. You guys be blessed and have a wonderful day. And until the next time, which should be tomorrow. Remember, on Wednesdays, it is past and present relationship drama and relationship scandals over time. That's where I choose a infamous relationship scandal, and I talked about it on the air last week. It was about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith and what's going on with them. Tomorrow, who knows what it'll be. And Sundays is my regular live show, 7 p.m. So you guys take care, be good to each other. And the diva